it deserves. Weathermark Keith, it's more to us. It's personal.
If you are in the market to buy a house, no doubt you're looking at the housing price, probably taking a look at interest rates, seeing how that's going to play into what you can afford. It makes a world of difference, by the way. But there are other factors that come into play, and we're very happy this morning to have Don Oakes on the show with us for the first time. He has Highlands Residential Mortgage. Great to see you.
Good to be here, Julie.
You're wanting to start off with kind of a myth buster, if you will, because people, young people especially, think they have to have all this money to buy the house. Not true.
It's just a shame. We have not done a good job in the mortgage business of letting first-time buyers in that 22 to 35 age group mostly know you don't have to have 10% or 20% down to buy a house. If it's a $200,000 house, you don't have to have $20,000 down payment. There are so many programs out there to get that first-time buyer in the house.
So if you are, let's say that you are somebody who is 26 watching and you are currently a home buyer, a homeowner, then what you might be talking about this morning might not apply to them. But if you're that first-time home buyer, that's where the benefit comes in.
Of course, we do that mortgage too.
We're going to get there. We're going to get there. So, okay, one of them is called, if you're in Tennessee, it's called Tennessee Housing. And then Georgia's is the Georgia Dream. What are they?
That's designed for first-time home buyers, and they will essentially gift you some money for a down payment. And it's a different structure. Like in Tennessee, $6,000 grant, really, no payment, no interest. Whenever you sell the house, you pay it back. Or they'll loan you 5% of the purchase price. $300,000 house, they'll essentially give you $15,000. You got to make a little payment on that based on 30 years. And then whatever the balance is, again, if it's 10 years from now, when you sell that house, you have to pay off whatever the balance is.
Okay, I want to come into what you do at Highlands Residential. And by the way, I know you've got a glass of water. It's allergy season. If you need your water, you just feel free to grab it. We're friends around here. But if you are coming in and you're hearing things like, okay, you can take this kind of offer from the state and then pay back a little bit on it, people need to understand what they are signing on to. And you take a lot of pride in really educating them to help them find the right choice.
That's hopefully what sets us apart. I mean, a lot of mortgage bankers, we've got a lot of good mortgage bankers here in Chattanooga. But hopefully it sets mortgage bankers maybe apart from an online lender whose job is to just churn those loans. We want to help the client understand. Here's the options you've got out there, which are a multitude of options. What's the best one for you? How does it work? How does Tennessee Housing work? How does Georgia Dream work?
Okay, you were sharing with me a quote that anybody in the real estate business loves to quote, which is, you date the rate, you marry the house. Is that the right phrase?
That's it.
Okay.
That's it.
So, but at some point, people only have the money they have. Is that right? So if people come to you, first of all, should they maybe come to you first before they get a realtor and go fall in love with a house?
Yes, is the short answer to that. And typically a realtor is going to say, Mr. and Miss Client, have you talked to a mortgage person? Because we don't want to go showing you houses that you can't afford. Or that you don't have any idea what the payment might be on that. So go talk to a mortgage person. Get pre-qualified is the term we look for.
Do you like to, because I think that there's some degree of a liberal nature, and like here's kind of your max output of what you can afford, right? And there's kind of a formula of trying to keep it. Is it 30%?
It varies, Julie.
Okay.
So it depends on which program we're doing.
Okay.
We can go up to a 57% debt ratio, which means nothing to a first-time buyer. They don't know what that means, how we calculate that. But it's interesting, whether it's a first-time buyer, a move-up buyer, somebody that's 60 years old, when they come in, they say, here's probably where I think my max payment, my threshold is. $1,500 a month, $2,000 a month, whatever that number is. And it'll be almost always below what I can say you actually can qualify for. But what we want to do is say, what is your comfort level? What is your comfort level, and work within those numbers.
So I'm really glad to hear you say right up front that it's important to come to a meeting with Don with kind of that number in mind, though. That is your comfort level.
Yeah, that's usually where we start the conversation.
Because otherwise you don't know how to guide them into then the varying options. If they have some money that they've saved, is it a good idea to still not use their money but use this first-time home buyer offer because they're going to need that money for other things?
Here's the reason why that's a good point that you want to do that is first-time buyer, they are not aware what all's involved. They are not aware, I got to buy garbage cans. I might have to buy blinds.
Right. Your hot water heater's going to go. Right.
Whatever. Or they may say, we really love this house, but maybe if we make this one little change, it's really going to be perfect for us. And so maybe save that money, both for repairs, for initial things you're going to have to buy for that house, improvements, whatever the case may be. Plus, as you pointed out earlier when we were talking before the show, is things happen when you buy a house. It just, you need to set aside 1% to 2% of the purchase price of the house every year for those things that happen, because you have some responsibility once you own a home. You get the appreciation, you're building wealth, but you also have some responsibility.
So let's talk on that, because before I let you run, you're a man who likes numbers and you want to focus on numbers that aren't just interest rates, because those fluctuate. But the ability to build your wealth through a house does not. It's like 40% more you earn?
A homeowner, their net worth is 40 times that of a renter, because they're building that wealth. Think about it. They're buying a $300,000 house. We have normal appreciation here in our area, 5 to 6% a year. So next year, that's a $315,000 house.
Right.
The next year, it's a $332,000 house. So they're building that every year as they're paying down the mortgage on that. So they're creating that net worth every year.
I think it's very important. I remember the first time we bought our house and I was scared out of my mind. And it was in the days of, you kind of bring your whole life to the mortgage lender and hope that you pass muster. But it's very important to feel comfortable and able to ask the questions. That's pretty obvious with you that that's going to be the case.
Yeah. We love doing that.
Well, go ahead.
No, just go ahead.
Okay, well, I was going to show people how they can get in touch with you. Do you mind?
No, that's okay.
Here's how you'll find them. It's Don Oakes with Highlands Residential Mortgage. They're over on East Brainerd Road. 624-0448 is the phone number. You can go online, highlandsmortgage.com, and he will happily help you find the ways. If you're looking in a rural area, by the way, there's money for you that way too.
Yes.
He will open up those avenues for you to let you get in that house.
Okay.
Great to see you.
All right, you too.
Oh no, not again!
If you are worried about pet messes on your new floor, fear not. The flooring options from Floor Coverings International Chattanooga are pet and kid friendly. Our products feature easy cleaning and stain resistant services. We make floor buying easy. Floor Coverings International Chattanooga.
If you or anyone in your family has been injured, call